you're doing the first one. And then the introduction. The clicker is not working.
Well, welcome everyone. Oh wow, if we had this microphone on in the fellowship hall, that would have been nice. Well, welcome everyone. We're glad that you're here. Let me just begin by saying, in my 25 years of ministry, nothing has prepared me for the last 18 months. And my bet is nothing has prepared you as parents, nothing has prepared you as teachers, whatever profession you have, as partners. This has just been hard, really hard. Which is why I think it's so important that we can come together in safe ways today to support one another, to be with one another, and to learn and grow our faith. We're going to take just about 30 minutes, and we wanted all of the parents together. We're also videotaping this, and it'll be on the live stream so that people that can't be here can watch it. We just want to get everybody on the same page. If you have kids that are in younger ages, we want you to see what happens as they grow older so that everybody understands how we love and support kids and families here at First Congregational at this difficult time. A couple of introductions. I don't see Diana. Where's Diana? I don't see Diana here. Diana teaches our 6th grade program. Alex and Sarah Plum are our new youth people. Myself and Stacy. I just want to say a little bit about Alex and Sarah. So some of the people on our youth search committee, when Janae left, we wanted to find a new youth director, and we conducted a search. And Alex and Sarah were the first people that we interviewed. And one of the questions that one of the kids asked was, tell us why you like kids, and tell us why you like kids and why you want to be a youth minister. And I hope I'm getting this story right. But Alex said, well, here's a good reason. So I was at school the other day, and this 8th grader comes up to me and says, bet you can't do a handstand. And Alex kind of said, betcha I can. And they had a handstand contest right there, and he won. And at that point, all of us on the youth committee kind of looked at each other, and we kind of grinned. And afterwards, as we were processing, we said, yeah, the interview was over at that point. Because our qualifications for youth director are really simple. Do you love God, and do you love kids? And both Alex and Sarah do that incredibly well, and we are blessed to have them here, deeply blessed to have them here. So that's enough for introductions. I'm going to turn it over to Stacy.
Well, the next slide is yours.
Oh, the next slide's mine too.
But the clicker's not working, so
Yeah,
we have to tell
of
them to
course.
click. Okay.
This is hard. Life is just hard right now. And one of the big messages for today is that you are not alone. You don't have to be alone to raise your kids. It can be lonely being a parent. It can be lonely out there. And so one of our goals and our hopes for church is that it's a place where you can connect with others. That's why when we get to the schedule, we'll notice we've scheduled time each Sunday, just 10, 15 minutes for just grown-up time. No kids, just grown-ups. Let that sink in for a little bit. That's important time. It's time for you to talk to one another. It's time for you to ask questions of one another. It's time for you to talk to Alex and Sarah about things that you're struggling with, or Stacy or I. These are the ways that we support one another. Raising children is hard. You are not alone. And First Congregational Church exists to support you in ways that are safe and faithful. We're all trying to figure out what that means going forward, but we're trying to do things that are both safe and faithful. I think that's it for that slide.
Next slide. So it's really important for everybody just to have a sense of what the goals are for why we're doing this. And there are 3 major ones. We are hoping that our kids and teens will develop a faith that is internal as well as have an external dimension. So a good way of saying that is that we want faith to be part of who I am, and what I do. We also want to encourage our children to have a faith that is personal and communal. So it's something that is mine and that belongs to me, but also is held by the community. Because there's not one of us here who is can say, I know everything about this, and I'm able to embrace everything about faith. We need to do this together. And thirdly, we have a goal that our kids' faith will be mature and maturing, which means the faith that they have right now is just right for who they are as individuals at this point, but we also want them to grow because life changes and their faith then needs to grow. So in order to achieve these goals, we hope that our children experience that church is a welcoming place where they can belong. We want them to have the experience that church nurtures them and their creativity and encourages their curiosity. That's how they will grow as an individual. That's how they will grow in faith. We also want them to know that church is a place that will help them to learn. We don't have all the answers, but we will help them to think through questions and issues of life and faith. So we have some specific opportunities. I've listed them, and then on the sides, there are just a few notes about this. So worship. Worship is the core of what we do together as God's people. So we have Sundays, and we have midweek Wednesdays during Advent and Lent. Those are really important times. We also have Sunday school, and new, coming in about October-ish, will be a library and a resource center where kids are going to be able to check out books. For little ones, they can check out toys. There will be resources for parents as well. We have Wednesday school, and that is a chance for us to really focus on relationships and on projects and activities that feed who I am. We also weave in Bible stories as well as contemporary stories because that's my love. We also have pre-confirmation as the link, the transition from Sunday school and Wednesday school into confirmation. We have the confirmation program. We have the church intern program. We'll be talking more about that Chris will talk more about that as the presentation goes on and at the bonfire. We have middle and high school youth groups, and that's new. We're really excited about this. It's going to be, if you can come every Wednesday, one Wednesday you're going to have class. The next Wednesday you will be able to do a youth group activity. So we really, really hope that our middle school and high school kids come each week for that opportunity. The family meals are going to begin again in October. It's a really nice way of gathering together without having to cook yourselves. It always tastes better when somebody else makes it, even peanut butter and jelly. We are hopeful that we can have the Boston trip. It's been a highlight for many years for our kids as a culmination of their study and confirmation about the history of the church and the role of the church in the world. The pandemic has made it difficult. We don't know what that will be, but we're hopeful. We also have Back Bay Mission as a potential spring break chance. We have it all reserved. We just have to be able to get there and stay there safely. A few things. Marking the milestones is an important tradition that we have here at First Congregational, and I remind everybody about the flow. That at baptism, there's a book that introduces Picture the Bible art. In third grade, kids receive story cards that help them to study the art and the texts at home. Grade 6 is an NRSV Bible, New Revised Standard Version Bible. In 7th grade, they get their Servant of Christ apron, the cross at confirmation, which is made to model our cross in the chancel by a member of our church. And then in high school, when they are finished and leaving to do adventures, they have a fleece blanket. It's really important for people to keep track about when children would begin to participate in communion. Within our tradition, we don't say that there is a moment in time when a child is now capable of understanding, Because I don't know about you, but I've been taking communion for a long time, and there are mysteries connected to communion that I really am not able to explain. I think the same is true for children. Children may not have the depth of understanding that an adult has, but if they're not included, they know what it feels like to not belong. And so our practice is that children participate in the Eucharist when they are ready, when it's the right time. And I would say as soon as they notice that everybody else is taking communion, that's the time for them to be included. We also weave in conversations about communion into the curriculum, the Sunday school curriculum, as well as confirmation. But by the time kids are ready, and if they have been taking communion for a while and they're in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, something around that age, we have a set of resources for families to work through together. And then after you've gone through those, come and have a conversation with me or with Chris to continue the dialogue about the mystery that happens in communion. So if anybody has a child who's ready for these resources, let me know and I will give you the book and the folder. All right? Few finer details. We assume that when children are members of the congregation that they are automatically enrolled in Sunday school. You do not need to register each year for Sunday school. If you're part of the congregation, you are part of Sunday school. You don't have to be a member of the congregation to participate in Sunday school, so if we don't have your information, that would be a good time to register. We do ask people to register every year for Wednesday school. The reason being, we need to have permission to transport kids because we will pick them up at the elementary schools and we need that permission. So every year people have to register for Wednesday school. Those forms are on the church website. Pre-confirmation and confirmation registration and schedules, you do need to register for confirmation so we know who we are expecting. And there are schedules in the back that outline the flow of class and then youth group activities. A lot of the time, it's every second week. It doesn't always end up that way because of things like Ash Wednesday and so forth that disrupts it a bit, but that's why we have a schedule for you. There will be youth group opportunities, and we've got lots of schedules, and they're very tech savvy, so they're going to be able to put it on an electronic calendar, and you're going to be able to download it, and it's going to be slick. I'm not going to do that. There we have the college bonfire, which is another tradition. I hope it's fun for the kids who are bringing the treats for our college kids, but what I can tell you is it's really fun for the college kids to get the packages because they get the little notes and then they remembered when they were the person packing them, and all of a sudden they are the ones receiving the surprises. So the instructions would be that you bring 10 of the same thing and be really creative. Super balls, bubbles, all of that kind of stuff that is just a fun thing for a college kid to get it. And then the church intern opportunities. We have a long list. We have a list in the back. At the bonfire on Wednesday, Chris will be going through with the kids what the opportunities are so they can really think it through and then take the information home and talk with their parents to make a commitment. And the way that we're asking kids to make a commitment is through the covenant. What the covenant says is, I'm a church intern and this is how I am going to promise to engage within the congregation. And then the congregation in turn makes a commitment about how we will support that student, including the opportunity for the church scholarship. There are a variety of things to do, from Sunday school teaching to working as a deacon to the trustees. I am going to need some interns to monitor the new library. I think it's going to be fun to help kids, especially the little ones, check out books, to restock the books. I'm anxious to have the support for that project because I think that the church interns helping people pick out the resources will be a key part of the success of that program.
Let me just say a couple other things about that church intern thing. If you're a high school student and you're thinking of going into business, you're going to have to learn how to look at budgets. So we can connect you with the trustees where they will teach you how to work through a budget. I mean, it's those kind of connections that help kids grow not only in faith, but also in life. And Alex and Sarah and Stacy and I are here to help. You know, last year was just crazy where we could really not gather in person very safely. This year, our hope is in small groups, we can connect people in those situations. And one other thing I just wanted to add is those registration forms. You do need to register for confirmation because that also functions as a permission slip so that we can take you to Feed My Starving Children for whatever. So, and all those forms are on the church website. I do want to invite either Alex or Sarah or both of you to come up and talk a little bit about youth group and kind of your vision of how that might function.
Hello, everyone. We're really excited to be here. We recently just became River Falls residents, so we're excited to be in the community and join the group and be a part of the team here. We have created a calendar. It's a one-page front and back of all the events that we're planning on hosting this year. And on the back, there's QR codes to download the Google Calendars. I believe I set it up all right, but if it doesn't work out, we'll put up a notice to email the RF Youth Group Gmail, and we can invite you to those calendars, which will be updated with events, schedules, locations, times, things like that, so we can help keep everyone in the loop. But we have enough for everyone to take one of these today, put it on your fridge. We have it separated by month events, so I apologize if it's hard to read, but entire September events will be here, October and November. I just didn't want to give you a whole packet to try to keep track of. But our first event that is officially coming up is this Wednesday. We will be doing a bonfire and getting to meet all of your kiddos. And then next Sunday on the 19th, we'll be having brunch with middle school to get to know them and just introduce ourselves.
Yeah, we just set it up so that it wouldn't just be a Wednesday thing, that we would only see them every other week, because if they're going to confirmation one week and then us the next week. So we also have Sunday activities that we are splitting by middle school and high school. So some Sundays we'll go bowling, or some Sundays we'll go sledding, or to the corn maze, or something like that. So there's a separate QR code for a Google Calendar for the middle school and for the high school. And if you have children in both, you can just add both to your calendar. Yeah. And we do have an email. Yeah. So what was it?
RF Youth Group.
Yes, rfyouthgroup@gmail.com, and I think it's on here.
No, I forgot.
It's on the church website. Thanks. It's on the church website. So if you need to get a hold of us, you can do it that way. Otherwise, we'll also put our phone numbers out if you need that too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't remember what the next slide is. We'll see. Oh yeah, worship. This is important. Worship is about you individually, but it's also about us as a community. And so we are really anxious to have people coming for communal worship because we think it's important for you individually, but also for us as a gathered people. I know that there have been questions about what the expectations are for worship for confirmation students because nobody really enjoyed doing all the worship reflection pages last year. So here's the deal. It's the expectation for confirmation students that everybody worship at least 3 out of every 4 Sundays. If you are coming for in-person worship, no worship reflection papers. Yes. If you are worshiping virtually, we do ask that you turn in a worship reflection page. Please turn it in because we will give you some responses. That's one way of being able to connect with you because when you're worshiping by yourself, you don't have that connection. So that's the idea behind it. And I will say, I have not tried it, but I'm pretty sure that binge watching worship is not that much fun. So I strongly recommend that you keep up with this idea of 3 out of every 4, all right?
Okay. We say this from experience.
No, we don't say this from experience. I don't know, but I'm just pretty sure that it wouldn't be fun. Okay, the next one, is that the last slide, I think? Oh, no, yeah, this is Chris's. Okay.
Huh. To end on both a hopeful note and also on an important note, When you think about it, after life, faith is the most important gift that you can give your kids. It is a gift that can grow with them. It is a gift that can sustain them. One of the most powerful things for me personally are those relationships. In a community like River Falls where it's kind of stable and you get to know the kids and watch them grow, I'm now at the point where, at one point I was baptizing them, confirming them, graduating them. Now I'm marrying them, and pretty soon I'm going to start baptizing the people I baptized. And it's pretty wonderful. I just had a 30-year-old that was back in town. I always say I'm not going to do this, and I do. COVID was really hard for him. He was out east by himself, cut out from his family, cut out from his world. And he said Sunday mornings, the only thing that got him through was he could log on and he could watch a community that he knew. Even though he'd been gone 10 years, he saw familiar faces, he saw words of hope. And he said that's what got him through the pandemic. And I think that's our hope for you, for your family, and for our kids. Faith is the most important gift that you can give them after life. The gift of faith remains with you when you are no longer a child. In the best of circumstances, your faith grows as your needs grow, as Stacy was talking about earlier. And in a church family, you will find people who know you and who love you. And we can't have enough people in our world that know us and love us. And I know, especially kind of teens, sometimes they get in that ugly, I know everything, I don't want to be around everyone, especially those people at church. We've all been there at times. And yet, when you can make those one or two connections, they are truly life-giving. The whole reason I'm a pastor is because I had one of those experiences when I was angry and frustrated. One of the deacons stepped up and said, next week, you're coming back to church and you're handing out bulletins. And I was afraid to disappoint him, so I came back next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. And that is our hope. That is our hope for our young people here at church.
So I want you to notice the time, because Chris kept saying this has to be really short. It has to be 30 minutes. Your slides are going to be too long. But look at this. We're 5 minutes under. So I want credit for that. Yes. So I'm going to stay in the back, and if you have questions, you can get the schedules. We also have our new Picture the Bible book is out, and we have copies for each family with kids in elementary school. So please meet me at the back, and I will give you your books.
And let me talk a little bit about the Wednesday bonfire. So this year we're doing the bonfire differently. These kids have not been together in a long time. In a traditional year, the 6th graders will be by themselves, 7th through 9th graders will be by themselves, and interns will meet later. This year, we're all together. Our numbers are not huge. We're outside, so we think it's totally safe. We're going to meet at Anderson's house. The address is in the back of the bulletins today. It's in the Weekly Word. It'll be on the confirmation update tomorrow. So this Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30 at Anderson's house on the west side. Bring 10 of the same thing and be creative. They'll meet, the 6th graders will meet together, the 7th through 9th graders will meet together, and the 10th through 12th graders will meet together after we're done with our college packs and kind of unpack what the year is going to be. I want to do Feed My Starving Children. I want to do lots of these things, but we're holding them just kind of in reserve now and seeing how the fall unfolds. With that, again, thank you, and together may we have a good and better year than last year. Amen.